I still remember the exact moment my world collapsed. I was sitting in the hospital's financial office, my surgery scheduled for the next morning, when the woman behind the desk looked up from her computer screen with that expression, you know the one, the "I'm about to ruin your day" face. "I'm sorry, Miss Stevenson, but your account shows insufficient funds. My name is Rosalie, and for 3 years, I'd been living for that moment. 3 years of working 3 jobs while walking with a cane, my left leg screaming with every step. 3 years of saying no to dinners out, to new clothes, to anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. All so I could save $47,000 for the surgery that would give me my life back. That's impossible," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "I checked yesterday. The money was there." She turned her monitor toward me. The balance read $347.82. I called the bank from the hospital parking lot, my hands shaking so badly I could barely dial. The automated system confirmed what I already knew. A wire transfer had been made 2 days ago. $46,653 gone. "I need to speak to someone about an unauthorized transfer," I told the customer service rep. "I see the transaction here, Miss Stevenson. It was authorized by your joint account holders." Joint account holders, my parents, the ones who'd insisted I add them just in case of emergency when I was 25 and still trusting. I drove to their house in a daze, the same house where I'd grown up feeling invisible, where every achievement was overshadowed by whatever my older brother Guillermo was doing, where my accident 3 years ago had been treated like an inconvenience rather than a tragedy. Mom was in the kitchen when I walked in, arranging flowers like she didn't have a care in the world. "Rosalie, what are you doing here? Isn't your surgery tomorrow?" "Where's my money?" She froze, a white lily halfway to the vase. "What money?" Just don't." I pulled up my bank statement on my phone. $46,000 disappeared from my account. You and Dad are the only other people with access. "Oh, that?" She waved her hand dismissively. "Guillermo needed it for his penthouse deposit. You know how competitive the market is." I stared at her, actually stared. "You gave my surgery money to Guillermo for a penthouse?" "It's not like that. It's an investment. He'll pay you back once he closes on some deals." "I have surgery scheduled for tomorrow morning." "Well, you'll just have to reschedule. These things happen." Dad walked in then, loosening his tie. "What's all the shouting about?" "She's upset about the money," Mom said, like I was a child throwing a tantrum. "Dad, you gave my surgery money to Guillermo, without asking me, without even telling me." He sighed, the same sigh he'd given me my whole life when I dared to need something. "Rosalie, be reasonable. Guillermo's penthouse is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The surgery can wait." "The surgery can wait?" My voice cracked. "I've been saving for 3 years. I work 3 jobs. I can barely walk upstairs without crying." "You're being dramatic," Mom said. "It's not like you're dying." That's when Guillermo walked in, all 6 feet of golden boy confidence. He was carrying shopping bags from expensive stores, because of course he was. "Hey, Rosie, heard you were here. Thanks for the loan, by the way. The penthouse is incredible. You should see the view." "Loan?" I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You think this is a loan?" "Well, yeah. I'll pay you back eventually. Don't stress about it. I needed that money for surgery, Guillermo. Surgery that was supposed to happen tomorrow." He shrugged. Actually shrugged. "You'll figure something out. You always do." My younger sister Brooke appeared in the doorway, looking uncomfortable. "Maybe we could all just—" "Stay out of this, Brooke," Dad snapped. $46,000, I said, my voice getting louder. 3 years of my life, 3 years of pain and sacrifice and working myself to death, and you just gave it away like it was pocket change. "Stop being so dramatic," Mom said again. "Family helps family. Guillermo's success benefits all of us." "What about my success? What about my life?" "You'll get over it," Guillermo said, already bored with the conversation. "It's not like you were going to die without the surgery. I looked around the room at these people who were supposed to love me. My parents, who'd never once asked how I was coping. My brother, who'd taken my future without a second thought. My sister, who wanted to help but was too afraid to speak up. "You're right," I said quietly. "I won't die without the surgery, but I'll never forgive this. Any of you." I walked out of that house knowing something had fundamentally changed. They'd stolen more than my money. They'd stolen my hope, my trust, my belief that family meant anything at all. But they'd also made a mistake. They'd pushed me past the point where I cared about keeping the peace. And that, as it turned out, would cost them everything. I spent the next 2 days calling everyone I could think of. My bank, a lawyer, even the police. The responses were all the same. It was a legal transfer. Your parents are authorized account holders. This is a civil matter. There's nothing we can do. My friend Addison came over on the second night and found me surrounded by tissues and empty takeout containers. "Rosie, you can't just give up." "Give up? They stole 3 years of my life, Addison. 3 years. So make them pay it back." "With what leverage? They don't care that I'm in pain. They never have." She sat down next to me on the couch. "Then make them care." But I didn't know how. Not yet. The breaking point came when Guillermo posted on social media photos of his new penthouse, champagne glasses, the caption, "Dreams do come true when you have family who believes in you. Blessed new beginnings, family first." I screenshot every single post. Then I drove back to their house. This time I didn't knock. I walked right in and found them all in the living room. Mom, Dad, Guillermo, and Brooke. They were looking at something on Guillermo's phone, laughing. "More penthouse photos?" I asked. They all looked up. Mom's smile faded. "Rosalie, we weren't expecting you." "I bet you weren't." I held up my phone. "Interesting hashtag, Guillermo. Family first." "Look, if you're here to cause drama again," Dad started. "Drama?" I cut him off. "You want to see drama? Let's talk about how you stole my surgery money so your golden boy could buy a penthouse he can't afford." "We didn't steal anything," Mom said. "We're family. What's yours is ours." "Really? So what's yours is mine too." "Great. I'll take the house." Dad stood up. "That's enough, Rosalie." "No, it's not nearly enough." I turned to Guillermo. "How much do you actually make, Guillermo? Because I did some math. That penthouse costs $8,000 a month. Your job pays what, $70,000 a year?" His face went red. "That's none of your business." "It became my business when you used my money for the deposit. So how are you planning to make the payments?" "I have deals coming through." "What deals? You work in marketing for a mid-sized company. You're not some real estate mogul." "Rosalie, stop attacking your brother," Mom said. "I'm not attacking him. I'm asking reasonable questions about where my money went." Brooke cleared her throat. "Maybe we could set up a payment plan?" "Brooke, stay out of this," Dad snapped. "No, let her talk," I said. "At least someone in this family has a conscience." "Don't be ridiculous," Mom said. "We all have consciences. We're just not going to let you guilt us into ruining Guillermo's opportunity." "Guilt you?" I stared at her. "I'm not trying to guilt you. I'm trying to get my money back so I can have surgery. You know, that thing that would let me walk without pain for the first time in 3 years?" "You walk fine," Guillermo said. "I walk with a cane, Guillermo. I take painkillers every day. I can't stand for more than 20 minutes without wanting to scream." "You're exaggerating." I pulled up my sleeve and showed them the scars on my arm from the accident. Then I lifted my pant leg to show the surgical scars on my knee. "Am I exaggerating about these too?" Mom looked away. "Put your leg down, Rosalie. That's inappropriate." "What's inappropriate is stealing from your disabled daughter." "You're not disabled," Dad said. "You're just limited." "Limited." I repeated the word. "Right. Well, my limitations are about to become your problem." "What's that supposed to mean?" Guillermo asked. It means I'm done being the family doormat. It means I'm done pretending this is okay. So what are you going to do? Mom asked. Sue us? Good luck with that. We're your parents. I don't need to sue you. Then what? Dad crossed his arms. You'll stop talking to us? You barely talk to us anyway. You're right. I don't talk to you, because every time I try, you dismiss me or ignore me or tell me I'm being dramatic. But other people listen. What other people? Guillermo asked, and for the first time, he looked nervous. Everyone. Your friends, your co-workers, your social media followers. I wonder how they'd feel knowing you bought your dream penthouse with money stolen from your disabled sister's surgery fund. You wouldn't, Mom said. Try me. Rosalie, be reasonable, Dad said. Think about what you're saying. You want to destroy your brother's reputation over money? I want my money back. The money I saved, the money I earned, the money you had no right to take. We're family, Mom said again. No, I said, heading for the door. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't dismiss each other's pain. Family doesn't choose favorites and leave the rest to suffer. Where are you going? Brooke called after me. I turned back one last time to find out what real family looks like. You'll regret this, Mom said. When you calm down, you'll see we did what was best for everyone. The only thing I regret is trusting you. I walked out, and this time I didn't look back, but I heard Guillermo say, She's bluffing. She won't actually do anything. He was wrong about that, too. I spent the next week in my apartment, barely getting out of bed. Addison brought me groceries and tried to get me to eat, but everything tasted like cardboard. You need to do something, she said on day 5, sitting on my couch with her arms crossed. This isn't healthy. Like what? I called every lawyer in town. None of them will take the case. It's family money, they said. Civil dispute, they said. So make it public. You threatened to expose them. Do it. And then what? They'll just deny everything. Say I'm lying. You have bank records, which show a legal transfer between family members. It doesn't prove they stole it. Addison sighed. There has to be something. But I couldn't see what. I was stuck, and my family knew it. That's when my phone rang. Unknown number. Miss Rosalie, this is Dr. McDonald's office. Could you come in today? The doctor would like to speak with you. I almost didn't go. What was the point? But Addison drove me there anyway. Dr. McDonald was waiting in her office, looking unusually serious. Rosalie, I want you to know that what happened to you is unconscionable. Thank you, but there's nothing. Actually, there might be. She leaned forward. I've been practicing for 20 years. I've seen patients struggle to afford treatment, but I've never seen a family actively sabotage their own child's medical care. It wasn't sabotage. They just prioritized differently. They stole your surgery money. That's sabotage. She pulled out a folder. I took the liberty of submitting your case to a charitable foundation that helps patients in extraordinary circumstances. Dr. McDonald, I appreciate it, but I've looked into medical charities. The waiting lists are years long. Not this one. They specialize in cases where patients have been failed by their support systems. I don't understand. Neither do I completely. But they called this morning. They want to schedule your surgery. I stared at her. What? Next week. Everything paid for. Full coverage. That's impossible. These things don't happen. Apparently they do. She handed me a card. You're supposed to call this number. The card was simple. White, expensive paper. Just a phone number and the initials CC. I called from the parking lot. Crawford Foundation, this is Stella. Hi, this is Rosalie. I was told to call about surgery funding? Miss Rosalie, yes. We've reviewed your case. We'd like to help. I don't understand. How did you even know about me? Dr. McDonald submitted your information. We were moved by your circumstances. But why me? There must be thousands of people who need help. There are, but your situation is particularly egregious. Your family's betrayal of your trust, their dismissal of your medical needs. It's exactly the kind of case we were founded to address. I still don't understand how this works. Who's paying for this? The foundation covers all costs: surgery, recovery, physical therapy, everything. What's the catch? No catch. We just ask that you focus on your recovery. This doesn't make sense. Nobody just gives away $47,000. Some people do, Miss Rosalie. Some people believe that justice matters. Something in her voice made me pause. Do I know you? We've never met, but I know about you. I know what your family did. How? Dr. McDonald was very thorough in her report. She was quite angry on your behalf. And your foundation just decided to help? Our benefactor has strong feelings about family betrayal. He believes people who've been wronged deserve a chance to rebuild. Can I meet him? I'd like to thank him. He prefers to remain anonymous, but he asked me to tell you something. What? Sometimes the people who hurt us think they've won, but karma has a way of evening the score. I felt a chill run down my spine. What does that mean? It means focus on getting better, Miss Rosalie. Let the universe handle the rest. She gave me the surgery details and hung up. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, staring at the phone. Addison found me there when she came out of her own appointment. What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost. Someone's paying for my surgery. What? Who? I don't know. Some foundation. They called it karma. Karma? That's what the woman said. That karma has a way of evening the score. Addison got in the car. That's, weird, right? But good weird? I guess. It just feels too good to be true. Maybe it's not. Maybe someone out there actually gives a damn about justice. Maybe. But as we drove home, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this story. The woman on the phone, Stella, had sounded like she knew something I didn't, like she was waiting for something to happen, something involving my family. The surgery went better than anyone expected. I woke up in a private room, not the shared recovery ward I'd been told to expect, with flowers on the nightstand and a woman in an expensive suit sitting in the chair beside my bed. Miss Rosalie, I'm Stella. We spoke on the phone. I blinked, still groggy from anesthesia. You're here. Mr. Crawford wanted to ensure you had everything you needed for recovery. Mr. Crawford? The Foundation's benefactor, Christian Crawford. The name hit me like a slap. I knew that name. My father had mentioned it over the years, always with bitterness. Crawford, I repeated. As in Crawford Industries? Stella's smile was sharp. You know the name. My father, he used to complain about someone named Crawford, said he was a snake, that he'd tried to ruin our family's business. Interesting perspective. What's that supposed to mean? Stella pulled out a tablet and showed me a newspaper article from 15 years ago. The headline read, Local business owner accused of fraud, partner flees country. Your father was Christian's business partner, Stella said, until Keith embezzled $200,000 from their joint venture and disappeared for 6 months. When he came back, he claimed Christian had authorized the withdrawals. I stared at the article. There was a photo of a younger Christian Crawford, maybe 35, standing outside a courthouse. Christian lost everything, Stella continued. His business, his reputation, his family's trust fund that he'd invested. Your father walked away clean. That's impossible. My father wouldn't steal money that wasn't his? Stella raised an eyebrow. Like he wouldn't steal his daughter's surgery fund? The words hit me like ice water. You know about that. Dr. McDonald was very detailed in her report. $46,000 taken without permission to fund your brother's penthouse. So this is what? Revenge? This is justice. Christian rebuilt his life from nothing. He's worth about $50 million now, and he's never forgotten what your father did to him. But why help me? I didn't do anything to him. No, but you're suffering because of who your father is. Christian knows what that feels like. A nurse came in to check my vitals, and Stella waited until we were alone again. "There's something else you should know," she said, "about your family's current financial situation." "What about it?" "Your parents' mortgage, Guillermo's penthouse loan. They're both held by Crawford Holdings." I felt the blood drain from my face. "What?" "Christian has been quietly buying up their debt for years. He now owns the paper on both properties." That's not possible." "It's perfectly legal. Debt gets sold all the time. Your family just never bothered to check who was buying it." "What does that mean?" "It means Christian holds their financial future in his hands, and after what they did to you?" She shrugged. "Well, let's just say he's not feeling particularly generous." My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. "Hope your surgery went well. We're proud of you for finding another way to pay for it." I showed the text to Stella, who laughed. "They have no idea, do they?" "No idea about what?" "That their victim is about to become their judge." Before I could ask what she meant, my phone rang. "Guillermo." "Rosie, hey, I heard your surgery happened. That's great news." "Thanks. Listen, I got some weird mail today. Something about my mortgage being transferred. Do you know anything about that?" I looked at Stella, who nodded. "What kind of mail?" "Just some legal stuff. Probably nothing. But Mom and Dad got similar letters about their house. We're all going to meet with a lawyer tomorrow to figure it out." "Good idea." "Yeah, it's probably just paperwork. Anyway, glad you're okay. We should celebrate when you're feeling better." He hung up. Stella was grinning. "They still don't get it," she said. "Get what?" "That actions have consequences. Your father destroyed Christian's life 15 years ago. Your family destroyed your future 3 weeks ago. Now it's time to balance the scales." "What's going to happen to them?" "That depends on them. Christian is a reasonable man. If they want to make things right with you, he might be willing to work something out." "And if they don't?" Stella's smile turned cold. "Then they'll learn what it feels like to lose everything." A part of me should have felt sorry for them, should have wanted to warn them, but all I could think about was sitting in that hospital financial office, watching my dreams disappear. All I could think about was Guillermo shrugging and saying I'd get over it. "When will they find out?" I asked. "Soon. The foreclosure notices go out next week." "Foreclosure?" "They're behind on payments, have been for months. Christian's been patient, but patience has limits." My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mom. "Can't wait to see you when you're recovered. Guillermo wants to show you his penthouse." I deleted the message without responding. "What happens now?" I asked Stella. "Now you focus on getting better, and let karma do what karma does best." I was home for exactly 3 days when the calls started. First it was Brooke, crying. "Rosie, something's wrong. Mom and Dad got papers saying they have 30 days to pay their entire mortgage or lose the house." "What kind of papers?" "Foreclosure notice. And Guillermo got one too. They're saying he owes like 6 months of payments." "6 months? He's been lying about making the payments. He used your money for the deposit, but he never had enough for the monthly payments." "Of course he didn't. I wasn't even surprised." "What are Mom and Dad saying?" "They're freaking out. Dad's been on the phone with lawyers all morning." The second call came an hour later. Mom, hysterical. "Rosalie, you have to help us." "Help you with what?" "The house. They're trying to take our house." "Who's trying to take your house?" "Some company called Crawford Holdings. They bought our mortgage, and now they want full payment immediately." I almost laughed. "Crawford Holdings? You know them?" "I know the name. Why do they want full payment?" "They're saying we're in default, that we've missed payments." "Have you?" Silence. "Mom?" "We've been a little behind since your father's business slowed down, but we always catch up eventually." "How behind?" "That's not the point. The point is they can't just demand everything at once. It's not legal." "Actually, it is legal if you're in default." "How do you know that?" "I've been researching a lot of things lately." "Rosalie, you have to help us. You're good with this kind of stuff." I'm good with what kind of stuff? Legal things, research. You could call them, explain that we're a good family going through a rough patch. I sat down hard on my couch. You want me to call the people foreclosing on your house and ask them to be nice? Yes, please, Rosalie. We're desperate. Where's Guillermo in all this? He's dealing with his own problems. What problems? The Penthouse people are saying he committed fraud on his application. What kind of fraud? He may have exaggerated his income and assets and employment history. He lied. It's not lying, it's optimistic projecting. I couldn't help it. I started laughing. This isn't funny, Rosalie. It's a little funny. Our family is falling apart, and you're laughing? Our family fell apart when you stole my surgery money, Mom. This is just the consequences catching up. We didn't steal anything. We borrowed it. Without asking, without telling me, while I was scheduled for surgery the next day. We were going to pay you back. When? Guillermo can't even make his rent payments. That's not the point. What is the point, Mom? The point is, you're our daughter, and we need your help. I needed your help, too. Where were you then? She was quiet for a moment. Then, what do you want us to do? Grovel? Fine. I'm sorry we took your money. There. Now will you help us? That's not an apology. That's manipulation. Rosalie, please. We're going to lose everything. Join the club. I hung up. 20 minutes later, Dad called. Rosalie, your mother says you won't help us. That's right. This is childish. We're family. Family doesn't steal from each other. We've been over this. It wasn't stealing. Then what was it? It was an emergency reallocation of resources. Did you just make that up? The point is, we need to focus on the future, not the past. Whose future? Because mine was pretty bleak when you took my surgery money. You got your surgery anyway. No thanks to you. Look, I don't know how you managed to pay for it, but you did. So everything worked out. Everything worked out? Yes, you're fine. Guillermo has his penthouse. Everyone's happy. Guillermo's about to lose his penthouse for fraud. That's a separate issue. Is it? Because it seems like a pattern. You take things that don't belong to you, lie about your ability to pay for things, and then act surprised when there are consequences. I don't have to listen to this. No, you don't. But you do have to deal with Crawford Holdings. There was a pause. How do you know that name? I know a lot of names now, Dad. What's that supposed to mean? It means I did some research about Crawford Holdings, about Christian Crawford, about what you did to him 15 years ago. The silence stretched so long, I thought he'd hung up. Dad? I don't know what you think you know. I know you stole $200,000 from your business partner and let him take the blame. That's not what happened. Then what did happen? It's complicated. Try me. Rosalie, this is ancient history. It has nothing to do with our current situation. Doesn't it? Because the man whose life you ruined 15 years ago is the same man who now owns your mortgage. Another long silence. How do you know that? Because he's the one who paid for my surgery. What? Christian Crawford paid for my surgery through his foundation because he knows what it's like to be betrayed by family. That's impossible. Check your foreclosure notice, Dad. Check who signed it. I heard papers rustling. Oh, God. Yeah, oh, God. Rosalie, you have to fix this. I don't have to do anything. He's using you to get back at me. No, Dad. He's helping me because you wouldn't. This is insane. You can't let him destroy our family over something that happened 15 years ago. I'm not letting him do anything. I'm just not stopping him. Rosalie, you made your choices, Dad. All of you did. Now live with them. I hung up and turned off my phone. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. I turned my phone back on 2 days later to find 37 missed calls and 62 text messages. Most were from my parents, increasingly desperate, but there were also messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. Family friends, distant relatives, even my high school guidance counselor. The story was spreading. Addison came over with coffee and groceries. "Your family's been calling me." "What did you tell them?" "That you're recovering from surgery and don't want to be disturbed. But Rosie, they're really panicking." "Good. Your mom showed up at my work yesterday. She looked terrible." "What did she want?" "She wanted me to convince you to call off your attack dog, as she put it." "My attack dog?" "Her words. She thinks you hired some kind of revenge company." I laughed. If only it were that simple. "She also said Guillermo's been arrested." That stopped me cold. "Arrested?" "Fraud charges. Apparently he didn't just lie on his Penthouse application. He's been running some kind of investment scam on the side." "What kind of scam?" "Something about promising people huge returns on cryptocurrency investments, then just keeping their money." "How much money?" "From what your mom said, about $300,000. I sat down hard. $300,000? "Yeah, and get this. One of the people he scammed was his own boss." "His boss?" "Who fired him last week. So now he has no job, no money, fraud charges, and a penthouse he can't afford." "Wow." "Your mom kept saying it was all connected, that someone was orchestrating everything to destroy your family." "What did you tell her?" "That maybe if they hadn't stolen from their disabled daughter, none of this would be happening." "How did she react to that?" "She called me a traitor and stormed out." My phone rang. Brooke. "Rosie, please talk to me. I know you're angry, but this is getting scary." "What's scary about it?" "Guillermo's in jail. Mom hasn't eaten in 3 days. Dad's having chest pains but won't go to the doctor because he's afraid they'll garnish his wages to pay for it." "Brooke, none of this is my fault." "I know that, but you're the only one who seems to have any control over what's happening." "I don't have control over anything." "Then who does?" "Because someone is systematically destroying our family." "Maybe the family destroyed itself." "Rosie, please. I know what they did was wrong. I tried to stop them, you know that. But this is too much." "Is it? They stole my future. Now they're losing theirs. Seems fair to me." "What about me? I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm going to be homeless too." That hit me harder than I expected. Brooke was right. She'd tried to help me. She didn't deserve this. "Where are you going to go?" "I don't know. I've been looking for apartments, but everything requires first month, last month, and security deposit. I don't have that kind of money." "How much do you need?" "About $4,000. But Rosie, I'm not asking you for money. I know you don't have any either." "Actually, I might be able to help with that." "What do you mean?" "Let me make some calls." After I hung up, I called Stella. "Miss Rosalie, how are you feeling?" "Better. Listen, I need to ask you something." "Of course." "My sister Brooke, she's innocent in all this. Is there any way to help her without helping the rest of them?" "What kind of help does she need?" "An apartment. She needs to get away from my parents before everything collapses." "I think that can be arranged." "Really?" "Mr. Crawford believes in protecting the innocent. Your sister defended you when no one else would." "How do you know that?" "We know a lot of things, Miss Rosalie." "That's kind of creepy." "It's thorough. There's a difference." "So you'll help Brooke?" "We'll help Brooke. In fact, there's a nice 1-bedroom apartment in your building that just became available." "In my building?" "Convenient, isn't it?" "Stella, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "How long has this been planned?" "What do you mean?" "All of this. The surgery, the foreclosures, helping Brooke. How long has Christian been planning this?" "Mr. Crawford is a very patient man. He's been waiting 15 years for the right opportunity." "And I was the right opportunity?" "You were the catalyst. Your family's betrayal of you was so egregious, so perfectly representative of who they really are, that it gave him the moral justification he needed." "Moral justification for what?" for finishing what your father started 15 years ago, which is the complete destruction of Keith's life. I felt a chill. Stella, what exactly is going to happen to them? That depends on them. If they want to make amends, real amends, not just apologies, Mr. Crawford might be willing to show mercy. What kind of amends? Full restitution to you, public acknowledgement of what they did, and a genuine apology. And if they don't, then they'll lose everything: the house, the penthouse, their reputations, their freedom if Guillermo's fraud charges stick. Their freedom? Your father's business practices are being audited as we speak. 15 years of tax returns, client contracts, insurance claims. If there are any irregularities, there will be. Yes, there will be. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Rosalie, I'm begging you. Please call me. We need to talk. I showed the text to Stella over video call. What do you think? I asked. I think your mother is finally ready to have an honest conversation. Should I call her? That's up to you. But if you do, remember, you hold all the cards now. What if I don't want to hold all the cards? Then you can give them back, but once you do, you can never get them again. I stared at my phone. My mother's text was followed by another one. I know we hurt you. I know we were wrong. Please give us a chance to make it right. For the first time in weeks, she sounded like she actually meant it. I'll call her, I told Stella. Are you sure? No, but I need to hear what she has to say. Just remember, Miss Rosalie, forgiveness is earned, not given. I called my mother back an hour later. She answered on the first ring. Rosalie, thank God, we need to meet, all of us. All of us? You, me, your father, Brooke. We need to talk about this situation. What about Guillermo? He can't be there. He's still dealing with his legal issues. You mean he's still in jail? Yes. For fraud. Rosalie, please, can we meet? Tonight? Where? The house. Our house. While we still have it. I almost said no, but something in her voice, actual desperation, maybe even humility, made me curious. Fine, but I'm bringing someone with me. Who? A friend. Addison? No, someone else. I called Stella. Would Christian be willing to meet my family? That's unexpected. Why? Because I want them to see who they're really dealing with. I want them to understand that this isn't some random bad luck. Are you sure that's wise? Probably not, but I'm tired of secrets. I'll ask him. She called back 20 minutes later. He'll do it, but he wants to meet you first, alone. When? Now. There's a car outside your building. I looked out my window. A black sedan was parked at the curb. Stella, this is getting a little intense. Mr. Crawford doesn't do anything halfway, Miss Rosalie. The car took me to a restaurant downtown. Expensive, quiet, the kind of place where conversations couldn't be overheard. Christian was already there, sitting in a corner booth. He was older than his photos, maybe 50, with gray at his temples and lines around his eyes. But he looked solid, powerful, like someone who'd rebuilt himself from nothing and never forgotten the lesson. Miss Rosalie, he stood when I approached. How are you feeling? Better, thank you, for everything. You don't need to thank me. What your family did to you was unconscionable. We sat down. He ordered coffee for both of us without asking what I wanted. Stella says you want me to meet your family. I want them to understand what they're up against. And what do you think they're up against? Someone who doesn't forgive and doesn't forget. He smiled, but it wasn't warm. Your father said something similar to me once, right before he disappeared with my money. What did he say? That I was too soft, that I'd never survive in business because I trusted people too much. Were you too trusting? I was 28 years old, and I believed that handshake deals meant something, that family friends wouldn't steal from you. He sipped his coffee. Your father taught me otherwise. And now? Now I know that trust is earned through actions, not words, and that some people will take everything you have if you let them. Is that what you're doing to my family? Taking everything? I'm giving them the same chance they gave me, the same chance they gave you. Which is none. The waiter brought menus, but neither of us looked at them. What do you want from tonight? Christian asked. I want them to apologize, really apologize, not because they're scared, but because they understand what they did wrong. And if they do, I don't know, maybe we can find a way forward. And if they don't, then I guess they get what they deserve. He nodded. Fair enough. But I should warn you, your father hasn't changed. He's still the same man who stole from me 15 years ago. How do you know? Because if he'd changed, he never would have stolen from you. An hour later, we were standing on my parents' front porch. The house looked smaller somehow, shabbier. The lawn needed cutting, and there were newspapers piled by the door. Mom answered before we could knock. She looked terrible, hollow-eyed, thin, like she hadn't slept in days. Rosalie, she hugged me and I let her. Thank you for coming. Then she saw Christian and froze. Mom, this is Christian Crawford. The color drained from her face. Crawford. Mrs. Stevenson. His voice was polite but cold. Dad appeared behind her. When he saw Christian, his whole body went rigid. What is he doing here? I invited him, I said. This is our home. For now, Christian said quietly. We went into the living room. Brooke was there looking nervous. The family photos on the mantel seemed to mock us, all those smiling faces from better times. So, Dad said, not sitting down, what do you want? I want to hear what you have to say, I replied. About what? About what you did to me, about what you did to him. I nodded toward Christian. Ancient history. Is it? Because it seems pretty current to me. Mom sat down heavily. Rosalie, we know we made mistakes. Mistakes? I cut her off. You stole my surgery money. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. We were going to pay you back. When? How? Guillermo couldn't even make his rent payments. We didn't know that at the time. You didn't ask. You didn't care. Dad finally sat down. Fine. We should have asked. We should have told you. But we're family. Family helps family. Really? Christian spoke for the first time since we'd sat down. Is that what you told yourself when you stole from me? I didn't steal from you. $200,000 from our joint account while I was visiting my sick mother. That money was for business expenses. What business? You'd already decided to dissolve the partnership. That's not true. Then why did you clean out the account and disappear for 6 months? Dad's jaw tightened. I don't have to explain myself to you. No, you don't. But you might want to explain yourself to your daughter. All eyes turned to me. Rosalie, Mom said, what do you want us to say? I want you to tell the truth. For once in your lives, just tell the truth. The truth about what? About why Guillermo always came first. About why my needs never mattered. About why you thought it was okay to steal from me. We didn't think it was okay. Then why did you do it? Silence. Answer me. More silence. Because you could, I said finally. Because you knew I'd never fight back. Because you knew I'd just take it, like I always have. That's not... It is true, Mom. And you know what? You were right. I never would have fought back, but you made one mistake. What mistake? I looked at Christian, then back at my parents. You hurt someone who knew how to fight back. Dad's face went pale. This is blackmail. No, Christian said, standing up. This is justice. What do you want? Mom asked, tears starting to fall. I want you to understand, I said, that actions have consequences, that you can't just take from people and expect them to be grateful. We understand, she whispered. Do you? Because tomorrow you're going to lose this house. Guillermo's going to lose his penthouse, and unless he takes a plea deal, he's going to prison. Rosalie, Please. I'm not done. I stood up too. You stole my future. You dismissed my pain. You chose your golden boy over your daughter who needed you most. We're sorry, Dad said finally. Are you? Or are you just sorry you got caught? He couldn't answer. That's what I thought. Christian and I walked toward the door. Rosalie! Mom called after us. What happens now? I turned back one last time. Now you find out what it's like to lose everything. One day you'll regret this, she said, her voice breaking. Blood is blood. You're right, I said. Blood is blood, and you spilled mine first. We left them there, in the house they were about to lose, with the consequences of their choices finally catching up to them. The foreclosure happened on a Tuesday. I watched from across the street as the sheriff's deputies supervised the removal of my parents' belongings. Mom sat on the front steps crying, while Dad argued with anyone who would listen. Their stuff looked pathetic, piled on the lawn, a lifetime of accumulation reduced to garage sale leftovers. Brooke had moved into the apartment in my building the week before. She came and stood beside me. I feel bad for them, she said. I don't. Really? Not even a little? I watched Dad kick a box of old photo albums. Ask me again when they apologize. Really apologize. What if they never do? Then they never do. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Karma always comes home. I showed it to Brooke. What does that mean? I don't know, but I had a feeling I did. Christian called that evening. How are you feeling? Weird. I thought I'd feel more satisfied. Revenge is like that. It tastes better in anticipation than in reality. Do you regret it? What you did to them? No, but I understand the emptiness you're feeling. What happens now? Now you decide who you want to be. The person who was shaped by their cruelty or the person who rises above it. What did you choose? I chose to become someone who could protect others from what I went through. Is that what the foundation is for? Partly, but mostly it's for people like you, people who deserve better than what their families gave them. We talked for another hour. When I hung up, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, hope for the future instead of anger about the past. The next morning, Addison came over with coffee and news. Guillermo took a plea deal. What kind of deal? 5 years probation, full restitution to his victims, and community service. No jail time? Not if he pays everyone back. How's he going to do that? He has no job and no money. That's the interesting part. Someone anonymous paid his restitution. I stared at her. Someone anonymous? $300,000 just appeared in the court's account. I called Stella immediately. Did Christian pay Guillermo's restitution? Why would you think that? Because it's exactly the kind of thing he'd do. Mr. Crawford believes in justice, not revenge. Your brother's victims deserve to be made whole. But why help Guillermo? He didn't help Guillermo. He helped the people Guillermo hurt. That's a pretty fine distinction. It's an important one. That afternoon, my parents showed up at my apartment. They looked broken. Dad in a wrinkled shirt, Mom with no makeup, both of them carrying everything they owned in 2 suitcases. We need to talk, Dad said. About what? About what happens next. I let them in. They sat on my couch like strangers. We're staying at a motel, Mom said. We can't afford anything else. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Dad asked. Because you could stop this any time. Stop what? This vendetta, this destruction of our family. I'm not destroying anything. You did that yourselves? We made mistakes. You made choices. There's a difference. Mom started crying again. What do you want from us, Rosalie? What will it take for you to forgive us? I want you to understand what you did. Not just apologize because you're scared, but actually understand. We understand. Do you? Then tell me what you did wrong. They looked at each other. We took your money without asking, Dad said finally. And we should have asked first. That's not understanding. That's just admitting facts. Then what? Mom asked. What do you want us to say? I want you to say that you chose Guillermo over me, that you always chose him over me, that you made me feel worthless and invisible and like my pain didn't matter. That's not. It is true, and until you can admit that, we have nothing to talk about. They left without another word. Brooke knocked on my door an hour later. They came to see me too. What did they want? They wanted me to convince you to help them. What did you tell them? I told them that maybe if they'd been better parents, their daughter wouldn't hate them. I don't hate them. Don't you? I thought about it. I don't know what I feel anymore. That's progress, I think. Is it? Hate is exhausting. Whatever you're feeling now has to be better than that. She was right. The anger that had sustained me for months was fading, replaced by something else. Not forgiveness, not yet, but maybe the possibility of it someday. My phone rang. Guillermo. Rosie, I need to talk to you. About what? About what I did, what we all did. I'm listening. I was selfish. I was entitled. I thought the world owed me something, and I didn't care who got hurt while I took it. And I'm sorry, really sorry. Not because I got caught, but because I hurt you. It was the first real apology I'd gotten from any of them. Thank you, I said. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but I wanted you to know that I understand now what it feels like to lose everything because of your own choices. What are you going to do now? I don't know. Try to be better, I guess. Try to earn back some trust. It'll take time. I know, but I have time now. 5 years of probation gives you a lot of time to think. After he hung up, I sat in my apartment that I could afford because I had a job I could do, because I could walk without pain, and realized something had shifted. The anger was still there, but it wasn't consuming me anymore. The need for revenge had been satisfied, but it hadn't brought the peace I'd expected. Maybe that was the point. Maybe revenge was never supposed to bring peace. Maybe it was just supposed to balance the scales so you could move forward. My phone buzzed one more time. Another unknown number. Some debts can never be repaid, but some people deserve the chance to try. I deleted the message without responding. Outside my window, the sun was setting. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new choices, new chances to decide who I wanted to be. For the first time in years, I was looking forward to finding out.